Welcome to this narrated presentation on the Smarter Balance Assessment, determining the claim level performance categories. Students who take a Smarter Balance summative assessment in either English Language Arts or Mathematics receive an overall vertical scale score in that subject. They also receive one of three performance categories for each claim within each subject. The three categories are above standard, approaching standard, or below standard. But how are those claim level performance categories determined? This PowerPoint presentation will answer that question. To understand how the claim level performance categories are determined, we first need to become familiar with three important topics. First, the Smarter Balance vertical scale. Second, the Smarter Balance achievement levels. And third, the standard error of measurement. Let's start by reviewing the Smarter Balance scale. Each student who attempts the Smarter Balance summative assessment in a subject receives an overall vertical scale score. The vertical scale score is the basic unit of reporting. It allows for fair comparisons at both the individual student level and the aggregate level. This scale ranges from approximately 2,100 to 2,800 for grades 3 through 8. The scale is a vertical scale. Student performance in all grades is reported on the same scale. This allows us, for example, to compare a student scale score from a test in one grade to that student scale score from a test in another grade. The Smarter Balance summative assessment is also a computer adaptive test. The test adjusts the questions it presents to students based on, among other criteria, how students are performing on the test. Students who are performing well will tend to see harder questions, while students who are not doing so well will tend to see easier questions. Though different students are presented with different test questions, psychometric procedures are used to ensure that a given scale score represents the same level of performance. To further assist with the interpretation of results, the scale scores within a grade are divided into 4 achievement levels: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Level 4 is the highest level. Levels 3 and 4 are the desired levels of performance. Notice how the overall score range for each grade is steadily increasing. Notice also that the threshold scores between each level is increasing across the grades. Those are important aspects of a vertical scale. For each subject, this table presents the precise vertical scale score ranges for each achievement level in each grade. The threshold vertical scale scores that separate one level from the next are the lower numbers in each range for levels 2, 3, and 4. For example, the threshold score for level 3 in grade 3 ELA is 2432. These threshold or cut scores were developed based on feedback from thousands of kindergarten through 12th grade educators, higher education faculty, psychometric experts, parents, and other stakeholders through a process called standard setting. All Smarter Balance states, including Connecticut, have adopted these achievement levels and their corresponding threshold scores. Now that we have an understanding of the Smarter Balance scale and the achievement level threshold scores within each grade, let's review the last topic before we get to the claim level performance, the standard error of measurement. Psychometric theory tells us that a test score is an estimate of a student's achievement and comes with a certain amount of measurement error. This is why the individual student report shown here, we indicate that a student's test score can vary if the student were to take the test multiple times. Each time a student takes a Smarter Balance test, psychometric procedures are used to calculate not only the vertical scale score, but also the standard error of measurement for each student. Since this measurement error is known, the individual student report also provides the range of scores the student would earn if that student were to take the test multiple times. This range represents one standard error of measurement above and below the student's scale score. In this sample report, the student's overall vertical scale score in ELA is 2590, and the standard error of measurement is 10. So the range is between 2580 and 2600. Now let's look at the Smarter Balance Assessment claims. The claims are broad, evidence-based statements about what students know and can do as demonstrated by their performance on the assessments. There are 4 claims in each subject, but for reporting purposes in Connecticut, effective in 2015, 3 ELA claims will be used for reporting purposes, and they are reading, listening, and writing research inquiry. The 3 mathematics claims for reporting purposes are concepts and procedures, problem solving, and modeling and data analysis, and communicating reasoning. For each claim, students are assigned to one of 3 performance categories: below standard, approaching standard, or above standard. To determine these performance categories, the first step in the psychometric process is to identify the subset of test items that are related to that particular claim that were taken by the student. Using that subset of items, a student's claim level scale score and claim level standard error of measurement are calculated. These psychometric calculation procedures are identical to those used to calculate the overall vertical scale score, except in this instance, the calculation is based on the subset of items related to that particular claim for that student. These claim level scale scores are calculated and placed on the same scale as the overall score that ranges from approximately 2100 and 2800. Now that we have the claim level score and the standard error of measurement for each student, let's look at an example to see how those scale scores and standard errors are used to determine the claim level performance category. This figure represents the claim level scale scores for 7 students in 3rd grade English Language Arts. The scaled scores are represented by the blue dots. The vertical lines above and below the blue dots represent the confidence interval for the claim level scale score for each student. Because the standard error of measurement represents the extent of uncertainty in a student's scale score, this confidence interval is established as 1.5 times the standard error of measurement for each student, both above and below the claim level scale score for that student. The black horizontal line represents the Grade 3 English Language Arts overall threshold score that divides Achievement Level 2 from Achievement Level 3. This score is 2432. It's the minimum overall vertical scale score needed on the Grade 3 ELA test for a student to be classified in Achievement Level 3. If a student claims scale score and confidence interval are entirely below the horizontal line, then that student is said to be performing below standard on that claim. For example, student G. If a student's claim level scale score and confidence interval touch the horizontal line, then that student is said to be performing as approaching the standard on that claim, and that would be students A, B, and C. If a student's claim level scale score and the confidence interval are entirely above the horizontal line, then that student is said to be performing above that standard on that claim. And you can see that with students D, E, and F. When interpreting a student's overall performance relative to their claim level performance, it's important to note the following. First, claim level scale scores are derived using fewer items than the overall vertical scale score. Therefore, the standard error of measurement for a claim level scale score is greater than that of the overall vertical scale score. And second, using 1.5 times the standard error of measurement instead of just 1 to establish the confidence interval gives us a greater confidence in the claim level performance category that is assigned to the student. However, use of this wider confidence interval will result in more students being assigned to the middle category of approaching standard. I thank you for your attention and hope that this narrated presentation has provided you with an understanding of how the claim level performance categories are determined. For additional information, please also refer to the Smarter Balance Interpretive Guide or contact our office. Thank you.